Hi, my name's Sarah Brooke, and the topic for my proposed experiment is how temperature affects the rate of algae growth. So first of all, a little introduction. Why did I pick this topic? Well, I live really close to Lake Erie, and Lake Erie in the summer experiences extreme algae blooms. And these blooms can be poisonous. They can hurt people who drink the water, it hurts tourism. And so this topic it hits a little closer to home, and it directly affects me and people that I know. So I thought it would be a really interesting topic to talk about and think about and do my presentation on. Also, why did I do this topic? If we can figure out if temperature does directly affect algae growth, then we can possibly predict and prevent this, so we can help the tourism and everything stop all this damage that these algae blooms cause in Lake Erie. So first of all, what do we know? From Wain in 1991 published an experiment that he did that directly shows that temperature directly affects algae growth. And so we know that temperature does have an effect on the growth, so that's one of the things that we're going to look at. And then also extreme temperatures, too hot or too cold, can definitely affect the growth. Too cold can kill it, too hot can kill it. And then also from Michalak in 2013, we know that agricultural land use really contributes to heavy blooms from runoff and things like that. So that's another part of this issue, an aspect of this issue that we can look at. And then what do we want to know? We want to know if lower or higher temperatures are optimal for algae growth. Just again, so we can possibly predict and prevent and keep people safe and stop this damage. So the research question for this experiment is, what is the optimal temperature at which algae will grow? Again, lower or higher, which is a better optimal temperature that it will grow at. And then the hypothesis for this experiment is if water temperature is warmer, then algae will grow more efficiently than algae that grows in cold water. So the materials that we use in this experiment is 1 culture of Pediastrum boranum. We need 200 flasks. I know that seems like a lot, and then 2 incubators, each set with a timer for 14 hours of light per day. That's just to replicate the amount of sunlight that algae would normally get outside in the real environment at Lake Erie. It would usually get about 14 hours of light per day. And then sterilized water from Lake Erie, again to replicate the environment that the algae will be growing in. And then a flow cytometer. And what a flow cytometer does is it counts cells. So we're going to use that to count the number of cells of algae that grows in our water. So first, the methods, the way we're going to do this experiment. We're going to divide the culture. We're going to start off with dividing it into 10 high temperature flasks labeled with high temperature, and then 10 low temperature flasks labeled with low temperature. And then we're going to add 250 milliliters of the sterilized water from Lake Erie to each flask. The number of cells in each flask will be recorded using the flow cytometer, so we get an initial count so we can compare that to the end count of cells. Next, the low temperature flasks are going to be set in an incubator at 3.9 degrees Celsius, and the high temperature flasks are going to be set in an incubator at 20.5 degrees Celsius. And where I got those temperatures is I found the average temperatures of Lake Erie during January and July, just to replicate again those temperatures that this algae would normally be growing in. And then the cultures will need to be split in half every 3 days. This is just so that the algae doesn't overgrow in the tube, and if it grows too much, it can inhibit the growth in the end. So you really want to make sure that it has room to grow and it has everything it needs. And then also the flow cytometer will be used to record the number of cells in each of the flasks before and after every transfer, just to get a good count. And then the total number of cells will be counted after 30 days and compared to the initial count. And so the variables in this experiment are the independent variable is the temperature of which the water in which the algae resides. And then the dependent variable is going to be the cell count in each of the flasks. So that's just one of the things that we're going to look at and measure and to see and then draw our conclusions from that. And these are my references.